Joining us now, Congressman Diane Black, as she likes to be called, member of both Budget and Ways and Means Committee. It is great to have you here. Let me just start with this administration, which is, I can't recall any administration, including the Nixon administration, that just simply bald-faced lied to the American people on so many issues so often. Can you?
Well, Lou, when you were in your lead-in, when you were talking about the president, and you actually did the clip of him saying this is not going to cover illegal citizens, their health care, I got to thinking about all the other lies that he told, like if you like what you have, you can keep it. American families are going to save an average of $2,500 per family on their health care costs. We see extraordinarily high increase in the cost of their premiums. And so I can just go on and on and on about the things that he has said that we know were not true. And it is very, very discouraging. It almost makes you feel like sometimes you just want to put your hands up and say, I don't know what else to do, but we can't do that. We have got to keep on working. This country is a wonderful country, and we've got another year and a half, and then hopefully we'll have another leader in the White House that we can trust.
Well, hopefully we'd have a leader who could make a distinction, have the guts to talk honestly and look honestly at this country, keep count of things. But, you know, even under George W. Bush, the federal government wasn't tracking who was an illegal immigrant, reporting those who are in our prison systems, those who are committing crimes, or the number of illegal immigrant criminals that have been let loose. We're starting to get a sense of that now. I mean, this is a government that doesn't keep track of anything profound other than race, ethnicity, and people should, in my opinion, be telling the government to go to hell. It's none of their business, any of that.
We were actually talking about that. We were actually talking about that last night when I was on the floor, and there were amendments that were being offered on our bill. There was one amendment offered by Congressman Poe out of Texas that no longer could you be required to fill out this in between the years of the census, this survey that they do that's like a 28-page survey.
Yeah, this community survey. You know, my question is, why in the world should any citizen...
Exactly.
And by the way, people, and good for Congressman Poe, good for you for bringing it up. We get this thing in our house. We look at it, and I say to my wife, I mean, this is nuts. Why should we have to put this out? I'll do this once every 10 years, but the rest of the time, the federal government can go to hell. No one tells this government to go to hell anymore. Everybody just rolls over and sucks their thumb and says, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I mean, what's happening to this country?
Well, I'll tell you what, you'd have to take me to jail if I said I am not going to fill that thing out, 28 pages, and the most intimate information that they ask for in there, it's none of their business. And I could have put another word in there, but I won't. I'm on TV. But it is none of their business. And we have got to stand up to the government and say no, and particularly this administration who is trying to take away all of our freedoms and all of our rights to privacy. Our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, just go down and name the kinds of things that we deal with here in trying to stop this president.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, and I want to turn to trade, because this president is telling us we should have our Congress approve trade promotion authority, that is, turn over some of the power, both of the right to amend bills, just straight up and down votes on trade agreements, which is really, in my judgment, you know, a diminution of the authority of both the Senate and the House under the Constitution. And now the Republicans, you guys are coming out saying we demand more power for the same president that you're suing in court for abusing power. What is wrong with you people?
Lou, it is just the opposite of that. And sitting on the Ways and Means Committee, I have time to read this bill, to go through it piece by piece, and tell you that we are empowering Congress in this bill. Would you like to have a bill where, in this particular situation with the Iranian negotiations that are going on, where it had to be public for 60 days, where the public could read it, the transparency was there? And after that period of time, if we didn't like what the president was negotiating, we could just turn it off and say, no, you cannot do it. This is inserting Congress into having the empowerment to say yes or no, and giving guidance to this president and his negotiators to say, you have to stay in this lane. And if you don't stay in this lane, then we are not going to approve the agreement once it's done.
The answer to your question is, I'd like to see it. I'm going to have to see it, though, to believe it. and I ain't going to vote for it in order to find out what it is. Congresswoman Diane Blank, it's always good to have you here. Thanks so much.
It's good to be with you too, Lou. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.